be absolutely clear, and I said this to the president. I meant what I said in Davos. It was clear. It was a broader set of issues that Canada was the first country to understand the change in U.S. trade policy that he had initiated. And we're responding to that. We're responding positively by building partnerships abroad. We're responding positively by building at home. And we're prepared to respond positively by building that new relationship through CUSMA. He understood that, and it was a good conversation, as I say.
So you didn't walk back?
Okay. He meant what he said in Davos. Is that why he tucked tail and ran out of there before he could defend what he said to President Trump in person?
Never met with him.
You know what? It's real easy to talk tough. It's real easy to talk tough about Trump when he's not able to respond in person. And that's exactly what Carney did. Like, I'm thinking of a word that I can't say on TV, but what a coward.
And what a liar, by the way. What a duplicitous man.
Yes.
Because this is what the Americans are reporting, and I'm more inclined to believe them. So am I having a stroke? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, speaking to Hannity last night, had a very different take on it, saying that Carney was basically groveling and he didn't mean what he said. Baby, will you take me back? Basically was the conversation. So let's watch.
And interest rates will be down significantly. They're already down quite a bit. Let's talk about the Prime Minister, or if you prefer, Governor of Canada, and him threatening to break economic alliances with the U.S., go with China. The president has threatened 100% tariff. What impact would that have?
It would be a disaster for Canada. I was in the Oval with the president today. He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos. And Sean, I'm not sure what the Prime Minister was thinking. Of course, Canada depends on the U.S. There's much more north-south trade than there could ever be east-west trade. He talks about middle countries having to do their own thing. And I'm old enough to remember when French President Francois Mitterrand tried to go down that route. It failed back in the 80s. It'll fail now. And Canada is linked to the U.S., and the Prime Minister should do what's best for the Canadian people rather than trying to push his own globalist agenda.
Yes, exactly. Do what's best for the Canadian people instead of trying to push your own globalist agenda. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
And prioritizing North America first, prioritizing North America first policies over cozying up to the Chinese. This is what the Americans are saying. Now, why this doesn't get through Mark Carney's head is anyone's guess. I do think that it has to do with the fact that he won the last election, fear-mongering to the boomers of Eastern Canada.
Yeah.
And what's really staggering here, Sheila, is the discrepancy between what the Canadian mainstream media is telling Canadians what happened and what the American media is telling the world what happened. And so what we have here is the mainstream media being complicit, like rewriting history as Mark Carney tells it live, right?
Yeah.
That's the messaging that they're going to come away with. Whereas anybody that's exposed to independent or American news networks is going to have a real accurate idea of what actually happened there. Like, we're being gaslit in real time by the government of Canada.
And they're enablers in the mainstream media who are just jangling around for bailouts. Like, everything looks like a grant application. Every news article looks like a grant application. And so while Mark Carney is very clearly groveling to President Trump, Minister of Industry Melanie Joly is out there making it worse. So this is what she said. She praised Mark Carney's speech, which has been widely condemned by the Americans and any sensible Canadian as inflammatory and antagonistic towards the Americans. But that's what she does. So let's hear what she has to say.
folks, I think what is really, really important to remember is that there's a real rupture happening in the world right now. And the Prime Minister addressed it in Davos. We have to be able to make sure that while this is happening, we can protect our workers, we can think differently, we can use all the different levers we have as a provincial government, as a federal government, and we will use them. And I said it before during this scrum, I said 2025 we were reacting, 2026 we will be proactive, because that's what people expect us. While there's lots of chaos in the world, while there's lots of unpredictability coming out from the White House, we will make sure that we control things here at home.
It could not be more out of control.
What kind of disconnect are these people? Yes. What kind of disconnect are these people suffering from? So that they could not see that the problems we are actually suffering from in Canada right now are they're doing. Like, absolutely incapable of any self-awareness. Like, they don't even seem to be aware that they had anything to do with this, let alone all of it.
Right. Who's causing the rupture? There's a rupture. I don't know. Has anybody even tried to fix it? Their big solution is pivot towards Europe. Why wouldn't we
pivot towards China?
Or towards China, the enemies of what used to be our greatest friend.
Or Qatar. You know what I mean? Like, they are literally looking at communist countries to replace our relationship with the United States of America. This is insane.
Right. And so Carney has trotted out Justin Trudeau's old babysitter. And I mean that both metaphorically and physically. He did babysit a baby Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. You know what babysitters do? They clean up messes. That's all they're really good for.
That's what he's trying to do.
So this is accurate. Yes. He's also one of the people that was first to the podium to say that invoking the Emergencies Act was absolutely founded by the federal government. Like, why does Dominic LeBlanc still have a job? Why isn't he being charged?
Right. Resign in shame. And yet he's the industry minister.
Here he is. He's the
trade minister. He's the trade minister in the middle of a trade war. He should be shuffled to the backbench, and then he resigns so quietly we don't even know what happened. And yet he's front and center.
Or arrested publicly, Sheila, truly.
Like Tamara Leach in the snow. Arrest him
just like that. He'll survive. It'll be fine. He'll survive. But to see him here being charged with handling this, like this crucial trade deal with the United States, they gave to this guy. Okay. Okay.
So
who has confidence that he's going to be able to pull it off, Canada? Who has confidence in this guy?
Everything they do makes it worse. Could we try somebody new, please, at the podium? But anyway, this is Dominic LeBlanc, Justin Trudeau's former babysitter when he was a baby, but also when he was prime minister. And he apparently had a good tete-a-tete chit-chat with trade ambassador Jameson Greer.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had a cordial, lengthy conversation with U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Jameson Greer. We had an opportunity to discuss the commitment that Canada made in the CUSMA agreement 6 years ago, as did Mexico and as did the United States, not to enter into free trade discussions with countries that do not have a market economy. That was a commitment that Canada made to our free trade partners, the United States and Mexico, 6 years ago. I reiterated that remains our position. That is not at all the context of the recent visit to China. I reiterated that to Ambassador Greer, who understood very well that we have a narrow trade arrangement that deals principally with a few sectors of our economy that had seen tariffs on both sides in the last couple of years, not dissimilar to what the United States administration did with China in the soy context last fall. And finally, Ambassador Greer and I spoke about the work that we want to do over the coming weeks in terms of the CUSMA review. Our officials are already at work on the CUSMA review. We've had extensive consultations in Canada with Canadian industry and labor leaders. And Ambassador Greer and I discussed the opportunity to get together probably over the next few weeks and talk again later this week in the context of the CUSMA review.
You know, our apologies to Ambassador Greer for having to have a cordial conversation, cordial and lengthy meeting with this bloviating idiot that the government of Canada sent to represent us in probably the greatest trade negotiation and the most critical on planet Earth right now. Like, our apologies, Ambassador Greer. We're not all grizzled, ruddy, you know, shiny globalists like this guy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But good luck. Hey, good luck, Dominic.
Good luck to you.
Going in there to renegotiate, because my way to go. That was excellent. But this really does bring up an issue for Saskatchewan, because one of the products that, or one of the places that we got an interim short-term trade agreement with China is on canola. And so if this deal somehow goes down the flusher, this is going to disproportionately harm Saskatchewan egg producers. So like, we're just in the new country. I just can't wait to negotiate
our own
deals.
thing. We're going to do our own thing in the new country.
Scott Moe's going to be so great at negotiating our trade deals for the new country. I am telling you, Saskatchewan.
I love, like, when a politician has to preface their meeting with the Americans by saying it was cordial, you just absolutely know it was anything but. You just know you got an earful being reminded that under CUSMA, or whatever they call it, that you're not to make deals with enemies of the United States, particularly communist ones. It's in the rules.
And you would think that one person, as part of their Liberal team, would have known this. Mainly, Chrystia Freeland, who was part of the original group that negotiated CUSMA 6 years ago, would have known
Dominic
this.
LeBlanc.
Dominic LeBlanc. Hey, I'm so,
trade minister.
It's like he was there when
it's almost like it's his file.
And yet somehow, between Dominic LeBlanc and Chrystia Freeland and Mark Carney, they got all those details wrong. And Carney went into Davos and said a whole bunch of things that got us in trouble.
Yeah.
Wonder how that happened.
You like the hat? Me too. Same strong message about making Canada great again, but in a really cool color, black and gold. There's other colors available, and it's an all-Canadian site. So if you want to signal your tribe or trigger a Liberal, go to mcgahats.ca today.